Oh no, you've got lipstick on your nose now. Quick, get it off, get it off. Hey my flowers, I hope you are doing well. Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name's Emily and this is Ems in Context. So I do a lot of videos around gardening and cozy hobbies and just kind of like enjoying life and making the most out of it, but in a really sweet, peaceful kind of way. So today's video is, drumroll, about books, which is why I'm sat in front of my own little at-home library, which isn't really a library, it's just kind of a wall full of shelves that have all of my books on them. And I kind of wanted to do a top 10 essentials for reading. So I have written a list, I have gathered all of the bits and pieces to do some reading, and I wanted to share with you guys like what I deem as being essential for, you know, if you're going to spend like a cozy afternoon tucked up with a book. I feel like you need these things to make it an enjoyable experience, something that you can kind of keep going back to and get energy from, and just, yeah, a cozy reading essentials list. So to kick things off, number one is to have a comfy reading space, whether that be using your bed in your bedroom. I know a lot of you guys won't have necessarily like a reading nook, so to speak, so you might have a chair in your bedroom, you might want to use your bed, you might have an at-home office like I do, which is where I am. And so the way I like to kind of create this cozy space is a nice big space which is squishy and supportive. You know, you can sit up in it, you can really easily kind of like, you know, slouch, lean back, hold the book and still feel comfortable. Part of that for me is having like cushions, so I have this really nice squishy green cushion and also blankets as well. And I realise that we're coming up to summer, which the weather has not been producing. This might not necessarily work in the heat of summer, but as I'm sat here in a really big fluffy jumper, looking outside my window with clouds and grey skies, I like to have a blanket to read. Now I don't use it all the time, I might just sit on it like I am now, but I really do love to have a blanket and just snuggle down and feel warm and like have my feet covered and just be in that space of like, I feel safe and I feel comforted, and yeah, it's just like the perfect reading environment. So comfy space, check. The next thing on my list is to have a reading playlist. Now I don't actually have a specific playlist that I have created myself. I think I might do something like that in the future. But I really love to use the Calm app, and that's something that I've done for a long time, using it for like meditation purposes. I really love the teachings that they have on there around mental health, but they also have music and I really enjoy their soundscape, so you can kind of hear like rainfall or trees rustling in the wind. But I also just really like their like lo-fi beats, and you can actually select different musical playlists depending on what mood you're in or what you're doing. So I have often searched for like reading music playlists or something like that, and those are things that you can also find on YouTube. One of the things that I really love watching on YouTube is like a cafe like setup with really cozy music, and there's like a fire going and it looks really sweet, and it's like a bookshop, and it's just, yeah, wow, I just love it. Number 3 is a very important one for me, particularly because I have ADHD. I'm really bad at remembering to stay hydrated, and so the more I have something with me to keep me hydrated, the more I'm going to be hydrated. So I have two things. I have my Franken Green, like I think this is the 2-litre bottle, but don't quote me on that, I could be wrong. And I have the straw lid on it pretty much exclusively. I do have the hot lid as well, but I've got other versions of this bottle. So I have like the smaller one, so I can have hot drinks and stuff. But this is really good because it's got like a flip up lid. It keeps cold drinks cold for 24 hours, hot drinks hot for 12. Very similar to Chili's bottles. But I love it because we have an ice machine, and I'll just fill it up with ice, put some Vimto in, and I'm good to go for like the whole day with this, which is awesome. And then I do have like other things in frequently, which I'm about to show you. The other thing I have today is a Pepsi. So I have ice and Pepsi, and in this I have put one sachet today actually of True Lime, which is powdered lime flavour. So I think it is actually lime because it's got no calories. It's actually not bad for you in any way, shape or form. It just adds a little bit of flavour, and I have it in my book themed glass straw cup which says books are magical, and this is from the Haunted Hearts boutique, which I found on TikTok shop actually, but I absolutely love her. She's amazing to chat to, just even over messaging, and just such a wonderful person. So if you are looking at book related merch, then Haunted Hearts boutique, get yourself over there. I'll try and put a link below. I'll try and remember because I'm really bad at remembering those kind of things. But this was really good. So I'm staying hydrated. I've got my Pepsi and ice. I've got my Vimto in my bottle. While we're here, we're gonna hydrate together. Grab yourself something to drink, whether it be a cup of tea, make sure it's not too hot, water, squash, Pepsi, and we're gonna hydrate together. So in 3, 2, 1. Number 4, which I can't believe I've not said it, like this is not in priority order by any means, but in order to have a cozy reading essentials list, you need books, okay? Or, as we know, books come in very many varying forms, so some way of reading books or listening to books. So I have a few examples. I'm just gonna bend down and pick them up. So my current read at the moment is Happy Place by Emily Henry. I finished the last book in the Caraval series, and let me tell you, I was pulled side to side, up and down. I was on this massive giant roller coaster of emotions. I did not expect the series to go the way it did. I don't want to give too much away because I think like the book, like the whole series deserves to be read. And when the first book was so focused on, oh my god, it's been so long since I've read the books that now I can't actually remember the names. Scarlett, who is the older sister. The first book was so focused on her that I really did think that she was like the main character of the whole thing, and I think that's where like the really nice plot twist came in, because the rest of the series is so focused on Tella, who is the younger sister, or Donatella, which is her full name. But it's a wonderful, wonderful series, really filled with like that magical element, filled with like a lot of love and passion. Oh my god, I have a brain that creates a lot of really magical imagery, especially with Stephanie Garber's books. She is an incredible author who has really brought to life her characters, really brought to life the scenery, and so it really cements it in my imagination, in my brain. So I have been loving that, and I'm so glad I finished it because I really needed something new. But I'm also a little bit sad because that's the end, like that's it, and it's all done. And yeah, go and read it. Please go and read it, and then we can discuss further. So my current read is, I would say this is kind of like a palette cleanser for me, although I am really interested in reading more of Emily Henry books. So this is Happy Place, and from the first kind of page, let's see actually, because I think, yeah, so the first chapter is really sort of short, so from the first chapter onwards I was hooked. Like the first page I was just like drawn in, and I just wanted to know more, and so the more I go through it, the more the more I find I'm enjoying it. Current read. I am also really looking forward to, after I finish the Emily Henry book, starting this series, the Crescent City series, and this is the first book, which is House of Earth and Blood. And I have had these books for so long, like I feel like that's such a common theme with a lot of my bookcase, and it's because I really love to get a whole series all together, because for me there's no point in reading the first book on its own even if I don't like it, because I still want to know what happens in the end. So I'm very much looking forward to reading this, and I just want to say, like, hardback books are my favourite kind of books. I have loved paperback for a long time, but I am willing and happy to splurge on a hardback book. I don't know what it is necessarily. I think probably because there's that slight more durability to them, but also the art that you get in them. I mean, look at this kind of like inside page. Isn't it just stunning? And then the second book of this series is even nicer. Like, I actually hunted high and low for the second book of this in hardback. So yes, so this is paper book form. The other way of being able to read, surprisingly enough, is via a Kindle, and this is the Kindle Paperwhite 2017, I think. It is quite an old one, but it does read really well, and I have been able to decorate it with some book related stickers. I haven't put stickers down as an essential for reading, but obviously, like, it's cute. I'm trying to get it so that you can see it without a glare, but I have some Court of Thorns and Roses themed stickers. I have heart books. I'm a sucker for books, lollipop, a Starbucks coffee cup, because I am a sucker for Starbucks as well as books, and then a Night Court library card, because it just felt like really on theme. But Kindle is a great way to be able to access books online, and I've also found that you don't actually need to have a Kindle in order to use Kindle as an app. So you can get it on your phone, you can get it on your iPad, and you just download it. The only thing about it is, if you're wanting to get books, you have to go, unless you're like using unless you're using the Kindle device itself, you have to go online, like a website online, Amazon, on a laptop or a computer. I think you can use Amazon on your phones, like Google Chrome, but you have to actually go to the website rather than go to the app to be able to download the books to your phone or your iPad. Whereas on the Kindle you can use the actual shop, which is it comes with it built in your Kindle. So those are some of the ways. Obviously, audiobooks wise, there are a lot of apps and other bits out there which can get you audiobooks at a really cheap price. So obviously Amazon is a really good call for audiobooks. So Audible, I think, is the Amazon version, where you can pay a monthly fee and you get a certain amount of credits, and then you can buy them in disc form as like a CD. I know you can borrow them from libraries. I know of another couple of apps as well. Let me just have a look on my phone. So Libby is a reading app. I'm not sure quite how it works, but it kind of looks like that. It's not really focusing on it, but that one. Readly is another app, and that's kind of like magazines, newspapers, articles, that kind of thing. Let's see, there was another one that I had, but I can't remember what it is now. I'm not sure what it is, but I know that there's a few organisations that offer free audiobooks. So when I find it, hopefully before I put this video out, I'll put it up here so that you can see. So here is the space for free audiobooks. But you might prefer audiobooks, and I do enjoy an audiobook, particularly if I need to be getting on with a job, or I'm cleaning the house and I kind of like want to get through a book quicker, I do find that having the audiobook version of it as well. Honestly, I feel like when people sell the hard copy of a book, like they should include a code to be able to listen to it as an audiobook as well, because I feel like for particularly a lot of children and adults who struggle with like dyslexia, I would find it really helpful to be able to read along with an audiobook, because then you're kind of like reading the words at the same time as you're hearing them. But I don't know, tell me what you think, because you might not find that helpful, but I think I probably would, or you could kind of dip in and out of both. But I feel like if you're gonna buy a hardback book, there should be an option of like having a code to download the free audiobook or to access the free audiobook. So if there's any publishers watching, not that there will be, that's my idea and I'm coining it, so come to me and we'll work out a deal. So those are books. Number 5 is also, I feel, very important, because I hate a dog-eared book. And what I mean when I say dog-eared book is when people use books, and I've had library books like it before and it really peeves me off, where they've folded the page to make it a bookmark. And it's upsetting, okay? Because that's why you've marked the book now. It's not okay. So, essentials bookmarks. I have got loads of bookmarks. These are just like a select few of my collection, I guess you could say. So I have like this really cute one. I love most of the Waterstones bookmarks, to be honest, and this is one of the Guess How Much I Love You ones. This was a story that my dad used to read me when I was a little girl, and we used to act it out, and it's just like such a beautiful story, and so it's one of my favourites, and I do actually have it still as a book. I don't know where it is right now, but it's a beautiful, beautiful story. And then I've also, over time, kind of collected little bits that aren't necessarily bookmarks or aren't sold as bookmarks, but can be used as bookmarks. So I'm actually not entirely sure where this came from. I think it might have been... yeah, I don't know. I think I maybe picked it up from somewhere just really randomly, like it was in a bunch of leaflets, but it's just cardboard on the back, so it might have been a part of... oh, actually... I think I remember it being in a pen pack. You know when you buy pens and sometimes they've got like artwork in the background to kind of demonstrate what those pens can do, and I think it might have come out of one of them. I think my husband might have brought some pens and I stole this as a bookmark. It would kind of make sense, it's the right size. But I love little things like that, and like little postcards that have like words of encouragement or just funny things on them. And then the other thing I've got, which aren't really bookmarks, but I just wanted to share anyway, because my friend Goggles, aka Holly, got these for me, and these are to go in on the inside of books, and again you can't really see it, I'm trying to like it's not focusing. So these say from the personal library of, and what you do is you stick them into books that you loan out to people, and then they write, so it says on the little slips, loaned to, the date they were loaned it, and then the phone number, so that you can kind of like keep track of who's had it and where it's been, where it's travelled to, which I think is such a wonderful thing, because I am such a, I love to be able to give people like the opportunity to read, and I do have a lot of books, so there's no point in me reading them and then leaving them on my shelf. What I want to be able to do is share them with people, but I do like to have them back, so having these is just a really nice way of being able to keep track of where they are. And then on the bit I think that you keep in the book, it says like return date, and I think I keep this bit so that I know who's got what, and which phone number to call when they're late on their book returns. Honestly, I'm gonna have a library one day. It's gonna be amazing. Next thing, also very important, snacks. So I have got like an example plate, and it is just before lunch, so I'm not actually going to eat this, but this is just an example of like what I would like to have. I have grapes on here, which I will eat for lunch anyway, and then I also have some lovely sweet chocolatey Rocky Roads, which we get in the 2 for $6 deal at M&S, because I'm a sucker for M&S and I just can't help myself, and I love a Rocky Road, so snacks is obviously very important and self-explanatory. Number 7. Not everyone likes to do this, but I am someone who really enjoys like annotating books and making notes on them, but I don't always like to mark the books, so like actually writing in them, even if it's just in pencil. So I do actually have some markers, and these markers are actually really good, and I think it's because they are pastel colours. They don't tend to bleed through on the page unless you kind of go over it again. And I find that really great, and I use these in my Bible as well. So I have multiple colours of these, but I've just kind of brought 3 to show you. What I also have are clear sticky notes, and these are fantastic because it means that I can stick them over the top of a page that I'm reading. They're not overly sticky, so when you peel them off they won't rip the page, and you can write your annotation notes but still be able to see the writing that's underneath. And it's just a really wonderful invention. You can get these on Amazon. I'm not sure if you can get them in any shops. I've never found them in shops before. But like I say, Amazon, what a babe. I also have little sticky tabs, which I have in the past colour coded them. I got a little bit stuck because I wasn't sure how to colour code them, and I think what I need to do is read a book first and then kind of go, oh right, okay, I'll colour code this because I like this bit because it's inspiring, or I like it because of the romance, or I like this particular bit because I like the worldview, etc. Or I've learnt something, like gained knowledge from this section. So I will eventually look to colour code them, but these are nice as well because they're not like super thick. These aren't going to tear, which is lovely, and they're just very helpful in general. So that is markers and post-it notes. Number 8 I have written down as having a journal or a reading tracker, and the reason I say these are essentials is because it's so nice to be able to gather your thoughts after you've read a book, and you can find some really good questions as well from Pinterest on like what to write. So what I'll do is I'll insert like a little thing here, hopefully, of like a list of questions to ask yourself when you've read a book, and I'll also like link my Pinterest as well, so you can go and see like my book nook little board, so it's got loads of things on there. But one of the other things that I have found really helpful, because I don't have like a reading tracker or a reading journal specifically, I like to use Goodreads, and Goodreads is a fantastic app. You could use it online, like by going to the website as well, but it's also just brilliant as an app in general. You set yourself up a profile. I actually haven't updated this in so long, and I will update it for this video. It might not come out, like I might not be able to update it before the video comes out, but basically you put in all of the books that you've read, you rate them, you give them a little review, and then you can also create a list of like, these are books I want to read. My current reading, which is not up to date, so at the time whenever I last set this up, I had the reading list, which I don't even think I've got as a book. I have to check, but that's by Sarah Nisha Adams. Mad About You, which I'm fairly certain I have got. The book The Life-Changing Magic of Not Giving a F-K, and then the other one is Why Has Nobody Told Me This Before, and that's by Dr. Julie Smith. Fantastic book. I still haven't read through the whole thing, but what I have read has been really helpful and kind of healing, so definitely recommend. And then what you can do is see, I'm fairly certain you can see what you have recently read. Aha! I have found it. Right, show all 28 books. 28 books. It's not enough. So you can kind of go through and see like what I've read. You can like search my profile. I think you can follow people as well. So yeah, you can kind of have a look through my profile, see what I've read, get recommendations off of that. But all of these things, like all of these books, I have reviewed and read. I do need to update my profile and I need to add on some books because I've obviously been reading for a little bit longer than that. And I also need to join the reading challenge. But as I say, Goodreads is a really great way to get into reading, to do that kind of thing. The 9th thing on my top 10 reading essentials list is lighting and eyesight, I guess would be the way to put it. So I have a white light bulb in here and it's brilliant. I love it because it's a lot brighter. It helps me to see colour more in its truest form. Ideally, I would have a lovely floor lamp either in this corner just behind me because my chair's at an angle to the bookcase. So I would have a light here or over here, or I would have one here, and just doesn't need to be really bright. Yeah, so I ideally would have a lamp somewhere around, even if I don't have the big light on, because I'm not a big light person. I'm more a big light person during the day if I need it, but at night time I'm a cozy lighting person. The other thing which I find really helpful to have, especially if you want to do some late night reading and you've kind of really gotten into a book and you don't want to have a big light on and someone might be asleep next to you or you might be disturbing someone, get yourself a reading light. And I got this one. My lovely husband Luke did me a book themed advent calendar for December last year, and I can't believe I wasn't YouTubing at that point because it just would have been the most perfect thing ever to have filmed and like shared with you all. So I got loads of different things. I got bookmarks, I got my reading light, I got loads of books, book snacks, which obviously I've eaten already, tea bags for tea because tea is important when reading. Lots of wonderful things, but this was one of them. And the way this works, it clips onto your book like so. So it's like a clamp, don't let me forget to put that back in. And then it's got 3 light settings, 1, 2, 3, so you can select the brightness, and then the 4th one is just to turn it off. And what's great about it is the flexibility. So when I'm laying in bed and I'm reading and it might be really late, so I tend to put it on this side because Luke sleeps on my right. So what I do is I bend it so that it's actually facing away from him, so the light isn't disturbing him as much, it's just right on the pages where I need it. Bookmark in, light off. The other thing is, if you're someone that has to wear glasses, maybe you wear them permanently, maybe you need them for specific things like reading, wear your glasses. I am terrible at remembering to wear my glasses, and I specifically spent extra money on my glasses when I got these, and I think these are probably 4 or 5 years old now, so I probably need a whole new prescription, but whatever. These are lovely glasses. I spent extra money so that they looked really nice and really good. I really like having the frames up, but it's really important that you do this, and that's because they stop your eyesight from deteriorating further. It means you can actually see. Glasses are cool, people. Glasses are very cool. But I really do enjoy wearing my glasses. And when I do remember to wear them, I kind of catch myself in the mirror and I go, oh my gosh, like I'm a totally different person. So maybe next time I go in to Specsavers, and not that they will be watching, but Specsavers, don't come at me for not coming to book my appointment for a very long time. So yeah, these are part of the, I did have it written on it at one point. Oh no, it's on the inside, Kylie Minogue range. And I really love them because they're like a pinky, purpley, and then gold, and I'm a gold girl. I like have my gold earrings in and stuff. So, but yeah, wear your glasses. Really important. It will make reading so much more comfortable. If you're really that bothered by them, wear some contact lenses. Number 10 on my list of reading essentials is to have someone to tell about what you're reading. What you're reading. I think that makes sense. It made sense coming out my mouth, but I'm not sure anymore. I love to share what I'm reading with people. I really love to discuss the books, particularly if someone else has read it. And I really enjoy actually talking to my sister-in-law, Helen, about what books we've read, and we quite often like swap back and forth what books we're reading. So she's borrowed quite a few of mine, and then I've borrowed quite a few of hers, and I read some of her favourite books from her childhood, and it was so wonderful to just be able to go and like talk to her about them. And I'm trying to think of like what the most recent book, oh, so she most recently gave me back the Red, White and Royal Blue book, which is just such a beautiful story. It is also now a film, but the film just does not do the book justice. It actually really upset me because they completely got rid of one of the characters, and I felt like it just didn't, yeah. Anyway, having someone to talk to about books is just so special because you can really kind of fangirl about the characters, and you can really get into like their character development, who you liked and why, and if you didn't like someone, why didn't you like them, and having those discussions around differing opinions. And I feel like the world of books and the world of reading is such a positive space to be able to do that, because it's universally accepted in the world of reading that you will have a differing opinion to someone else, and that is totally okay. And it's so nice to hear those discussions happening in such a healthy way. But I find that kind of stuff interesting. Like, I want to know why you feel something else about this book that I do, and it just opens your mind, and it's really wonderful. Share your opinions, share how you feel, because the world needs to hear it. The world will be a better place for it. So yeah, spread it around. But yeah, having someone to talk to, like your mum and dad, or a best friend, or your sister-in-law, or your mother-in-law, or your husband, or your uncle and auntie, or even going to a book club. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot book club. But so I guess my 11th and slightly unofficial essential kind of part to reading is, you're gonna come here. Come here and say hello. Come here. Yeah! It's having a little reading buddy, isn't it? Yeah. So this is Luna, and I know that if you've been here before, you'll know and love Luna very, very much, just the same as I do. And if you haven't been here, Luna is our lovely French bulldog, and she is a right snuggler. She's an old girl now. You're 9 years old, aren't you? But she loves coming to snuggle with me while I'm reading, and actually it's one of the joys of getting to read with her by my side, just like there and loving me. And yeah, she's like a little hot water bottle. She keeps me way more snug than anything else, actually. So that was my top 10 essentials for reading, slash the unofficial 11, because you're still very important. And I guess what I just want to say is, like, all of these things can be done on a budget. You don't need to have a ton of money to be able to have nice bookmarks. You can make them yourself, and it's such a wonderful thing to be able to do some crafting, get your friends over, do it together. But reading is such a positive experience, or can be for a lot of people. Even if you don't actually like physically reading, you just like listening to them, there is a space for you. Like, come on over, come and discuss. Just because you've heard it instead of seeing it doesn't mean that it's any less valid. But yeah, don't feel like you have to spend loads of money. Don't feel like you have to go for the top of the range bookmark or some really fancy mega floor lamp. This is so completely up to you. Even if you can't afford to buy books from a bookshop, charity shops are so well stocked, and a lot of my books come from charity shops because they have all of the good titles. Once someone's done with a book, they quite often take it to a charity shop so that someone else can have that experience, and they're often 99p. So I really hope that you've enjoyed this video and you get to set up for yourself a little cozy reading space with all of the essentials that I've mentioned, and maybe you have a few more of your own. If you do, I'd love to hear them, so please put a comment below. I will try and include all the links that I might have mentioned, but I can't promise anything. But yeah, just have fun with it. Welcome to the reading space. Welcome to M's in Context. And I will see you very, very soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I do post fairly regularly on YouTube. I want to be better at it, and I kind of went for a phase of not posting. Posted a couple of weeks ago, so this is my next video. But yeah, come and join me. Come and spend time together. Come and do cozy things. Come and read and relax and have fun, and you get to see clips of Luna as well. So it's worth it. It's so worth it. But I will see you very, very soon, my flowers. Thank you so much again, and I will see you next time.